The former White House chief of staff for the Trump administration has been removed from voter rolls in North Carolina as the state investigates allegations he committed voter fraud in the 2020 presidential election. The New Yorker recently reported Mark Meadows registered to vote in 2020 using the address of a North Carolina mobile home where he never lived. Officials in the state say they removed his voter registration Monday after documents indicated he lived and voted in Virginia last year. Meadows has promoted baseless claims that widespread voter fraud resulted in a, quote, stolen 2020 election. Congress has held him in criminal contempt for refusing to appear before the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Meadows has not responded to a request for comment. Joining us now for more on this is CBS News political reporter Caitlin Huey-Burns. Hi, Caitlin. Great to see you. So can you explain why Mark Meadows has been removed from voter rolls in North Carolina now in the midst of the state's investigation into allegations of voter fraud against him?
Hey, Tanya. Well, there's a lot to unpack with this story. As you mentioned, Meadows was the chief of staff to former President Trump. Both he and Trump were promoting baseless claims about fraud in this election. It turns out that Meadows was registered to vote at a North Carolina address where he never lived. And so why this is happening now, why he's removed from the voter rolls now, is that according to election law in North Carolina, if you are registered to vote in the state but vote somewhere else, you automatically forfeit your right to be a registered voter in the state of North Carolina. And that is what they discovered happened, that he voted in Virginia in the 2021 election. Remember, there was a contentious governor's race there. So voting in that election means he forfeited his status as a North Carolina voter. But this is raising lots of interest, of course, because of Meadows' role in promoting baseless claims about the previous election and baseless claims about widespread fraud. Here you have him being kicked off the voter rolls in a state where he represented in Congress for 4 terms.
Sure. So, Caitlin, if North Carolina officials do determine that Meadows did commit voter fraud, what kind of repercussions could he face, and how might it impact the House Select Committee's investigation of the January 6th attack?
Well, he is someone that this committee has wanted to talk to, given his role, of course, as the chief of staff to Trump. And as our own Robert Costa reported on the text messages that he was receiving from Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. What is interesting, however, is that he has not complied with subpoenas from the House Select Committee, and the House of Representatives actually held him in contempt of Congress for that. And that, of course, is referred to the Justice Department, so we'll see what happens there. But, of course, he is a very prominent figure in all of this, has not complied. And so there are lots of questions about what happens next. There are also a lot of answers about how he, whether he did, in fact, commit fraud. We know at this point, however, that he was registered at an address that where he did not live, and that he did vote in Virginia. We should also say that, remember, during the 2020 campaign, he was also raising speculation about vote by mail, and there have been reports that he requested an absentee ballot at this address where he didn't live. Those are reports, and we'll see what happens with this investigation as it moves forward.
Very interesting indeed. Caitlin Huey-Burns in Washington, always great to have you on.
Thank you.